Hello and welcome back to We Are Crafted in His Image. Today we are going to work on our second project in our Fond of Autumn Coco and Crafts class, and this is the card that we are going to make. It's a pretty autumn wishes card with a very fall theme to it. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this. Let's see, in our kit, of course you have two of everything. Everybody bought the dies, so I did not pre-cut everything out as far as the stamped images go because it's much easier to do the coloring first and then cut it out. So that is what we're going to do. And I am, as usual, only going to make one of our project right now on camera, and I will finish up the rest of the project later. So let's see. Envelope, panel, card base, I only need one, and the little strip. Some of you have one long strip, some of you have a couple of short strips. Like I said, it was just leftover pieces, cut-offs from when I cut out these panels here. So, what stamping do we need to do? We need, oh, you will also need, where did it go? The full sheet that we stamped on last week so that we can stamp on it again today. So let me move this stuff out of the way and get started with our stamping. Oh, I do need the Autumn Wishes out of here. There we go. I think I have everything else already mounted on blocks. So we're going to start by stamping this whole image, the big one. And I still have mine from last week on my paper here. I haven't finished coloring and cutting out yet. I'm going to do that a little later. Right now I've been very focused on getting projects done for craft shows. So let's see. Let's go ahead and stamp this. Oh, I do need real quick. This is a large photopolymer stamp set. So you want some kind of a foam underneath your paper so that it'll give it a better impression. So I'm just using a mouse pad. You could use our Stampin' Pierce mat. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp this right here. There we go. And then you're also going to need to stamp, excuse me, actually 8 if you're doing both cards. You'll need 8 of this little leaf and you will need 8 of the acorn. I'm only going to do 1 or 4 of each because I'm only doing one card. Let's get this here. Let's see. I have a mess. Clear things out of the way, make it easier to do. Alright, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I will need, and like I said, if you're doing both cards, you're going to need 8. But I have actually already done 4 of each of these and colored them. So those will be for my next, the second card. So there's the stamping for that. Oh, I do need this out still because I need to stamp on the envelope. I'm going to put a little leaf. Last time we put an acorn. I'm going to put a leaf on mine this time in this corner. And then on your inside panel, which is the white rectangle, I did one in the upper left and one in the bottom right. But really, totally up to you where you'd like your leaves fluttering around on your page. And then the last bit of stamping we need to do is on our strip here. We're going to put the Autumn Wishes. You want to go do it a little bit to the right, give yourself a little room to cut out a banner, but this extra piece here is going to tuck underneath, so you don't necessarily want to center it if yours is cut to this size. I don't remember how I did everybody's. And there we go. Okay, so all my stamps are over there to be cleaned. Let me do that super quick. Don't want the ink drying up on my stamps. And there we go. All of our stamping is complete. And then I'm going to show you quickly a little bit of coloring. I'm not going to do all of the coloring, but I did do the leaves slightly different on this one than I did on our last project. So for the large leaves, and these 3, the main difference was Instead of the ivory, I brought in the light pumpkin pie, so it gave it a little bit of an orange color. Once again, when you're doing this one, you're going to want to color the entire leaf with your lightest shade, because there is a very large range in color from the dark brown to this orange. You want to kind of moisten the paper to allow the colors to blend better. As I mentioned, I think in the last one, these tips here, they bend, they end up getting mangled pretty easily. So I'm having to be careful because the tip of this one is already starting to mangle. You do want to be very gentle with them when you're using them, but for coloring a larger area, definitely like the larger tip for that. Then I'm going to go ahead and come in with this dark. This is the 200. And I'm just going to go up the vein and then across the base of a couple of those veins, not super far in. And then I'm going to use 200. And I'm going to go right along the edge of those. And the 200 and the 400, they blend in very nicely together. Very quickly, very easily, that 400 blends into the 200. Just like that. But then I'm going to come back in, and this time I'm going to use my smaller end. If I can get it to open. There it goes. Because I kind of want to scrub around those edges to get that brown to blend into the orange. So I want to put a little bit more pressure on there, so I'm going to use the darker, or the harder tip, the tip that's a little bit more firm. There you go. And then we'll just let that color blend in. So that's how I did all of these and all of those. Then everything else was pretty much the same as last week. For these two small leaves, I used the dark and the light of the Old Olive. So, oops, almost colored the wrong leaf. So here's this one. I'm going to go ahead and give it a shadow underneath that because it's under that other leaf. And then I'm going to go along the vein of this one, a little bit at the base. And then come in with my lighter and blend the two together. These blend very easily. But again, be gentle with that tip. I like to fill in and then go a little bit around where the two touch. Okay, so that's those. And then the caps on the acorn, I'm going to come in with the dark soft suede and just put a dot of color at the base of each of those little balls, I guess, little bumps on the acorn cap, just like that. And you can actually do 2 or 3 of the acorns at once before you come in with the lighter shade. And again, I'm going to use that small tip because I can put more pressure on it. And I'm going to just blend in, color in the whole cap, but blending in that darker color into the lighter one, just like that. Okay, so there's the acorns. And then for the acorn bottoms, I'm using 500 for the shadow, right underneath the cap there. And then I'm using ivory really to fill in the whole thing and to blend in. There you go, there is that. Now I do need to color in the leaves that are on my inside panel and my envelope, so let me do that really quick. And these, because they're so small, I don't even think I'm going to use this super dark color. I think I'm just going to go with the medium and the orange. So let me come in with my orange, my pumpkin pie. I'm just going to use, because it's small, I'm using the bullet tip. There we go. Get that going. Color that one. Color this one. And I don't have my cheaters on, so I'm trying to pull my head at just the right position so I can actually focus on this. There we go. Okay, and then come in with this. This is the 400. And I'm just going to go along that stem, or the veins, Add a little bit of darkness there, a little shadow. And this one I'm actually going to do even a little more than I did on the other two. And then, whoops, back to my pumpkin pie and blend that in. That one almost already blended in. There we go. Okay, so all of our coloring is finished because I have in my original envelope, where is it? What did I do? There it is. I have already pre-colored and cut mine out. And like I said, I do recommend that you color first and then cut them out, especially these little guys, because they're kind of hard to hold on to while you're trying to color. So I would go ahead and color them first and then die cut them all out. So let me move things out of my way and we're gonna go ahead and start assembling. You guys can go over there. Let's get my adhesive out. In your kit, you have the card base, which is our soft suede cardstock. Go ahead and burnish that down. Let's go ahead and put our inside panel. Get my Stampin' Seal out. A little bit of adhesive on both sides. And then this one has a little bit wider border than usual. There we go. Okay. Then on the inside, on the outside, we have this. I've already embossed this with our Falling Leaves embossing folder, and you can decide which way you want. I don't know, it's a little bit wider here than it is here. I think I want mine to go this direction. So I'm going to apply some adhesive. And I am going to do all four sides because this panel was embossed. You've got some raised areas and you want to make sure everything holds down really well on your card. Oof, very sticky, very sticky. Okay, so it's going to go this way, so I am going to flip everything because it's just easier for me. This one has a very tiny border around it. Very tiny border. There we go, burnish that down. And now to the fun part. We get to start assembling. Now this is going to go up on dimensional, so I'm actually going to go ahead and put the dimensionals on the back of that now. Let me get some out of here. 1, 2, I have some that have already been cut in half, so I'll use those around the edges where it's not quite as much space. Actually, oh, I had 2 on my fingers. I didn't even see that one. How did you get on there? Let's see if I can tuck this one in there. There we go. And that'll just help me to know it'll hold it up while I figure out where I want my other leaves and acorns to go. Oh, I forgot to cut my banner off the end of this. There we go. 1 and 2. It is snowing outside. Fall has passed us. Although technically it's still fall here, but it has passed us. Okay, and then the end of this is also going to go on dimensionals. This part will not, but this side will. So I'm going to put a dimensional right on the end of that. Just 1, I think, is all I need for this. That's going to allow that. Oh, I don't want this off yet. Don't take that off yet. Okay. So now we got to figure out where these are going to go and how they're going to go on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure I counted the right amount. I'm just going to kind of lay them out. I can't pick them up. I have no fingernails. Dun, da, da, da. Basically going every other acorn leaf all the way around, making a circle. And how big or how small your circle is, totally up to you. Why do I feel like I think my circle needs to be a little bit bigger. Come here, come here. Yep, I need to spread this out a little. So now that I have them all on here like this, I can kind of just push them out, make them a little wider, not that far out. So I'm kind of getting the idea of where I want this to go. And then what I'm actually going to do is take a pencil and I'm just going to gently mark a few spots where these are at. And this is just going to be a reference point for me. Now I'm going to move this out of the way, and I don't think you can see those reference lines. I can just see them. There we go. So what I'm going to do now to make it a little easier for myself is I'm just going to use my liquid glue, and I'm going to run a line just outside, well, maybe if my glue comes out, of where those marks were that I just marked. Just like that. So that'll tell me that's where my things need to go. And now I'm going to start with this one here and go backwards. So one lays on top of the other. But by using the liquid glue, I have a little bit of time to move things around. I doubt that you can hear it on the video, but one of my dogs is under my desk snoring again. 1, 2, 3. She's snoring really loud. And then there's one missing. I had a fourth leaf. Where did it go? Where? Oh, it fell inside my card. It looks like I need a little more glue at this end. And there we go. There is our, and you can lift this up a little higher. I think on this one here I might have had it, oh no, actually it looks like it's in about the same spot. Then what we're going to do is put, let me make sure if I need to trim this. I might trim a little bit off the end of that. And then I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive. Actually, I'm going to use this adhesive, so it goes on there pretty quickly. I don't have to hold it and make it stick. And then we're going to stick that on there because that's on a dimensional. It's going to raise up above our leaves. There we go. And then we'll just take the backings off our dimensionals. And then put our final leaf on our little cluster. You do want to make sure that it doesn't extend here so that it'll fit in your envelope. But yeah, there is, and I really like by doing it this way, the end of our things kind of stick up a little bit because they're only glued in really at the base of each of them. This part here is still loose, so they kind of rise up a little, which is nice, gives a little more dimension. There we go. So finished already. One project. Actually, our second project. Where's my other envelope at? Finished one. We have 2 finished fall cards to gift for maybe for Thanksgiving or maybe just for fall. Anyway, until next time, God's love and blessings to you. Bye.